In this session, we're going to talk about WordPress widgets. Widgets are small pieces of functionality which can be placed in a variety of places on your site. Let's take a look at the front end of our website. Right here we have a search form. That's a widget. Here we have recent posts, a widget, recent comments, a widget, archives, categories, and meta, all widgets. This entire area here is called my sidebar. Traditionally, widgets go in sidebars. However, people are starting to call this kind of an area a widget area because they don't have to be in a sidebar. They can be in your footer or in your header, and sometimes right even in your content itself. Let's take a look at how to manage these. Under Appearance, Widgets. Here we have our sidebar and available widgets. The sidebar is what you saw on the front end of the site. There's the search, recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and meta. Widgets are surprisingly easy to manage. For example, if I wanted recent posts above search, I just drag it, and now it's done. I reload the front of my site, and there you are. Recent posts are above search. I want to move it back, and there we are. You'll note there's a little down arrow at the right of each one. You can open it up and see some options. For search, you can put in a title. And you click Save, and reload the front end. And there's my title. Now with the search widget, if you have no title, it simply doesn't print it. Other widgets treat the title differently. Under Recent Posts, for example, there's no title, so it prints Recent Posts. We also have the option here to show how many recent posts, and whether or not to show the post date. The Delete would simply remove it, and Close would close this up. Recent Comments, very similar to Recent Posts. Archives, we can show the archives as a drop-down or as a list, and show post counts if we wish. Categories, drop-down, post counts, or hierarchy, and then Meta. Now, if I want to get rid of one altogether, I simply drag it out of here and let go, and now it's gone. I'll reload, and now Meta is gone. If I want to add a new one, I can simply drag it in there. For example, I'll drag a tag cloud in there, and there we are. And here's my tag cloud. I only have one tag, so it's a mighty sad cloud. Under Screen Options, we have the option to enable accessibility mode. Let's try that. Basically, this turns on some words in the places where you would normally drag or click to open. This makes it easier for keyboards to access these items. Down at the bottom is a section called Inactive Widgets. Some widgets can actually have a fair number of settings, and you may want to remove it from your sidebar, but not lose all those settings. And so you can drag a widget into the Inactive Widgets area, and it will save it for you. And then you can take it back later, and it will preserve all of its settings. So the next question is, where do widgets come from? All of these are default with WordPress. However, widgets can be added by plugins or themes. I don't recommend using widgets added by themes, because then if you ever switch themes, your widget goes away. Whereas if it's coming from a plugin, it'll stay regardless of theme you're using. There are literally thousands of plugins that provide widgets to do something. Just about anything you can imagine. If you want something in your sidebar in a widget, somebody's probably already made it. You could go to wordpress.org and choose the plugin repository. Right here. There are 28,468 plugins on there. If we simply search for widget, we end up with 6,142 plugins. And I did not know this until right now, but the very top result is Widget Customizer, of which I am a part of the development team. That's pretty cool. But of the 6,142 plugins, most of them provide widgets somehow. So if you can think of it, it's probably in there. Sidebars typically do come from the themes. The theme we're using only has one sidebar. Other themes put their sidebars in the footer or the header. In fact, if we switch to 2014 and then go look at the widgets, you'll see we have a primary sidebar, a content sidebar, and a footer widget area. Content and footer are empty. If we reload our theme, if we reload our website, you'll note there's a sidebar right here. But we can take a widget and put it in the footer widget area, reload, and there it is. We take another one and reload, and there it is moving across the bottom. So now we have widgets in the side and the bottom. Let's try putting something in the content sidebar. Let's put calendar in there. Additional sidebar that appears on the right. And there we are. Now this sidebar doesn't have a black background like the other one does, but it puts stuff to the right of your content. The lesson here is that sidebars are actually provided usually by your theme. It doesn't have to be. You can create your own sidebar with a plugin if you're a developer, and it will stay forever. But even then, you need to tell your theme that your sidebar exists and how to use it. So in review, Widgets are easily moved around just by dragging, added just by dragging, and removed just by dragging, and you can open them up and edit their settings. There's not a lot else to it. Widgets are surprisingly easy to use, and they add a tremendous amount of functionality to your site.